It is no longer news that NBA forward Kevin Durant was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns. But what would this mean for the fans and the league?
He was 6. Durant driving on Hardaway. Pull-up jumper. Durant got it! And Phoenix has a 2-point lead. 35 for Durant.
Kevin Durant's move took place on Thursday, following a tumultuous 3.5 years with the Nets and a second trade request in 8 months. In exchange for Durant, the Nets received 2 of Phoenix's favorite players, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Phoenix also had to give up Jay Crowder and 4 unprotected future first-round picks in exchange. Durant's move to the Suns had to be done swiftly, and it happened in the wee hours of Thursday morning, just hours before the 3 a.m. deadline. Sources say that by Thursday morning, the Suns had shifted their focus toward a 3-way trade that may have netted them Atlanta Hawks guard John Collins. Sources also say that the new owner, Matt Ishbia, instructed GM James Jones to text Nets GM Sean Marks after 11 p.m. ET. And it wasn't long before Ishbia and Nets owner Joe Tsai pieced together the final elements of the blockbuster trade. Sean Marks said in a statement, "After thorough evaluation, we believe making this trade now positions the franchise for long-term success." He continued by saying, "We're thrilled to have Mikal, Cam, and their families join us in Brooklyn, and we're grateful to Kevin for the joy he brought to our supporters. This transaction ends the great superstar experiment in Brooklyn and brings Durant to the desert to play with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. The triumvirate of Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden once dominated as a unit and only left on the strength of trade demands. In total, they played 16 games together. After playing a major role in the turmoil that led to the roster's demise, Irving was moved to the Dallas Mavericks on Sunday, marking the beginning of Durant's final days and hours as a Net. The two-time Finals MVP is currently out with a right knee MCL sprain, but reports indicate he will be okay to play after the All-Star break. According to insiders, Durant and his business manager, Rich Kleiman, expressed to Tsai and Marks their desire to go to Phoenix. It was within Ishbia's first week as general manager that he made an effort to sign Durant, who had already expressed interest in joining his team. In the beginning, Ishbia hoped to prevent the Nets from including Bridges in the trade, but the Nets were not interested. On Monday and Tuesday, the Suns' proposals weren't even close to what the Nets were asking, but Sean Marks kept working on potential deals to bolster the roster around Durant. Brooklyn knew it had to pressure Phoenix into making an offer they couldn't refuse if they wanted to get Kevin Durant. The Nets pursued OG Anunoby in Toronto and talked about potential trades for Collins and Cleveland's Caris LeVert. In a 3-team trade involving Atlanta, the Suns had discussed acquiring Collins from Detroit, but Ishbia was not prepared to give up on his chance to land Durant. According to our sources, an agreement was nearly reached until the Suns agreed to remove Dario Saric's contract from the deal. This saved them the trouble of giving up a second-round selection to cover his compensation. There was enough of a framework for a deal that made sense to the Brooklyn Nets that they believed they could trade Crowder to a playoff team before Thursday's deadline. The Suns spent a lot of money to acquire Durant, who is now 34, but they have never won a title and are willing to take a chance on him for the next 3 years of his contract. By acquiring Durant, Ishbia, a former walk-on for Michigan State under Hall of Fame coach Tom Izzo, fulfilled a promise to Suns head coach Monty Williams. It's likely that the Nets weren't competitive this year, and that they also wouldn't have been able to keep Kevin Durant from asking to be traded again. For the 2021 draft, the Brooklyn Nets will have 7 first-round draft picks available for trade, thanks to the deals that sent Durant, Irving, and Harden to Houston. The Nets still owe Houston their 2024 and 2026 first-round picks, and the Rockets have the option to trade their 2025 and 2027 first-round picks with another team. Under Sean Marks and assistant general manager Jeff Peterson, Brooklyn established itself as a scouting and player development engine. And under Jacques Vaughn, that will be the team's central focus once again. The Nets had hoped to keep Durant, but he preferred playing in the West with the Suns. Ishbia finally had his general manager negotiate with Brooklyn one last time on Wednesday night, refusing to go to bed until the deal pulled through. The plan was successful, and the NBA trade deadline came and went with Phoenix acquiring Durant. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors will take on the Phoenix Suns on Monday night. However, the Suns will be without Kevin Durant, who is still recovering from an ankle injury. The NBA world has reacted to Kevin Durant's deadline move to the Phoenix Suns. And it's not just the fans, but the players as well. One such player is Steph Curry. On the NBC Sports Bay Area podcast, Dubs Talk, Curry discussed Kevin Durant's decision to sign with the Phoenix Suns. "Nothing should surprise you in the NBA, because you've seen it all," Curry said. Curry also said that it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun. From a spectator's point of view, it will be exciting to watch how close the Western Conference race will shape up now that Durant has joined the Suns. Fans will keep a close eye on the rest of the season, especially the playoffs. This is because they now know that each and every game promises to be a battle. Steph Curry didn't seem bothered by the move though. He actually said that the NBA should be fun, exciting, and unpredictable, and trades like this add a lot of spice to the league. When Curry was asked how the Warriors match up against the best in the West, he responded by saying that all the players on the court will have to bring their A game if they want to get past the first round. Now, Steph Curry might not be fazed by Kevin Durant moving from the Nets to the Suns, but the fans certainly are. Interestingly, it's not the Brooklyn Nets fans that are most worried, it's the Suns fans. Phoenix's loyal supporters had mixed emotions upon hearing that Kevin Durant had joined the team. This is because acquiring Durant meant giving away the fan favorite twins, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. The state press has criticized Phoenix's decision to get rid of two of their best players and a handful of first-round draft picks just to get Durant on their side. A correspondent of the state press said Phoenix shouldn't have parted with two of its most important players just because they want to win a title. No one can deny that Durant is a fantastic player, but things aren't quite as black and white as that. Suns fans also agreed that the Kevin Durant deal wasn't worth it, given that the team had to part with two of its greatest and most well-liked players in order to acquire Durant. The price the Suns paid for him was considered to be too high by the majority of them. One fan tweeted, "I hate this team. You know, the Twins really meant something to all of us when we got Kevin Durant in exchange for them, and we're still depressed. Let's see if Kevin Durant can put up the sort of performances that'll make Suns fans forget about their Twins."